Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Brian Miller, who is a former UNC Tar Heel baseball player, and now he plays for the Miami Marlins, the MLB team. How are you doing today?
Brandon, I'm doing real well. I'm just at home and trying to train and stay ready for whatever kind of season we might have. But I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking and thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Can you talk about how you got started in playing baseball?
Yeah, I got started when I was 4 or 5, probably like a lot of kids. I started playing t-ball. And just throughout my childhood, I played a number of different sports, basketball and football. And just kind of as I continued to grow and develop, baseball was something that I thought and thought I'd be pretty good at, and was pretty good at the high school level, and got a shot to play college ball. And so, I started pretty young, but my dad had a big part in that. My older brother played, and it was really good playing baseball growing up in North Carolina.
Can you talk about playing baseball in college at UNC?
Yeah, playing at UNC was always a dream of mine. I was a really big fan growing up, and I got recruited very late my senior year, and it was just a blast. I mean, I met some of my best friends, Adam Pate, who you obviously know pretty well, and my 3 years there were just great. Like my first 2 years there, we weren't a very good team in the long run, but those experiences all helped shape me as a player, and I believe that made me better for those. And in my junior year, we had a really good team, probably one of the most talented teams Carolina's had in a while from top to bottom. We got upset in the regionals, and that was really sad to go through. But I love Carolina. I love playing there. I love the coaching staff, the guys I met. So I'm really thankful to have played there for 3 years.
What are some of your biggest accomplishments that you've achieved at Carolina?
I don't know. I mean, outside of personal accolades and all that stuff's always nice to get. I never really had particularly many goals of like all ACC, all American. I wanted to win. You know, I wanted to be known as a teammate that guys could trust, that was going to always be about winning. And even though our team didn't really make it as far as we always wanted to, I think, and I hope that my teammates would say that about me. I certainly would say that about most all of my teammates as well. So I outside of personal accolades, it's always nice to play well. Everyone wants to play well, so I'm thankful to, I guess, have been recognized for those in a couple of different ways. I think my personal accolade was just was playing on it, being staying healthy, staying on the field. I know sometimes that's outside of your control, but I'm really thankful to have been able to do that, and I'm really proud to have been able to do that at the high school and college level.
What were some of the schools that were recruiting you in high school besides Carolina?
Yeah, so I really, my recruiting process is very different than a lot of kids. I didn't play showcase ball. I played football in the fall, basketball in the winter, at least JV at least, and then my varsity years were just football all the way through and baseball all the way through. So my summer was spent playing football, and then I played some Legion ball as well, just kind of for fun. So I never did showcase ball. I never really thought I truly wanted to play college ball. I always thought it'd be something cool to do. I just there weren't a lot of guys from my school that were getting recruited heavily as I was coming up through high school. And, I started my sophomore, junior year. I started to go to a couple of camps, some small Division I schools I thought I could play at. And then I actually committed to UNC Asheville my junior year, which is a small Division I school, obviously in Asheville, North Carolina. And then turns out their head coach retired, which allowed me to decommit if I wanted to and kind of open up my recruiting process. And really late in my senior year, like around when I graduated, Asheville still hadn't found a new coaching staff, and a couple of the coaches from Carolina got in contact with me, and I was able to do a workout with them at an off-campus site. And it all happened very fast. I was offered a preferred walk-on spot, and I was in Coach Fox's office, it seems like the next day, which was a dream of mine. And And then the next week I moved into summer school with the new incoming freshman class. So it was very different. It was obviously not the usual recruiting process, but yeah, that's how it ended up going down for me.
How did Legion Ball help you in your baseball career?
Legion Ball gave me a chance to play with guys. I believe we played with guys from other schools in the area, and so we got a chance to play with some older guys. We had a couple like rising freshmen in college that were also on our team or around us. So I love Legion Ball. Got to play great competition from around the state. Definitely a great tradition in the state of North Carolina. And our team, we always competed. We always wanted to win, but it wasn't quite as the same pressure. Maybe showcase ball and all that kind of stuff. We showed up, we played hard, and we went home, and we loved doing it each summer.
Can you talk about your experience on draft night, hearing your name called?
Yeah, that was really special. The way the draft works is the second round or on the first night, and then after that it goes on throughout the days. And so I was expecting to go first or second round, but I wasn't positive. So I had a bunch of friends over in case somehow I didn't get drafted on that night. So it was just my girlfriend at the time, and now my wife. It was just myself and her, and my mom and dad in my parents' house. My brother lives up in New York, so he wasn't able to be there and get drafted. It turns out the Marlins had called my agent super late and said, "Hey, we're going to pick them," and my agent didn't have time to call me. So it was actually the last pick of the first round, and we were about to I don't know, get up and go get a snack or something, and the commercial was about to come on, and then what do you know, they called my name, and it was definitely a big shock. I wouldn't say it was the absolute childhood dream of mine to play Major League Baseball one day. I always wanted to do it. I knew the odds though, and I just tried to work hard every day. And then as you kind of work your way up through the years in college and think that's a possibility, I just didn't know. You never know when you're going to get picked. There's kids that are really good that fall late and end up not getting drafted, and there's kids that you might not think are going to go on day one of the draft and that end up going. So I really didn't know what to expect fully. And so when they called my name, it wasn't chaos, but it was just excitement, tears, all that good stuff. So it was a really fun night.
How long did you have prior to when you got your name called? Did you have to go to the organization, for example, to meet all the coaches and all that?
Yeah, I think I had about a week or two. And I went down to, I guess, Miami. They took some of myself and a couple other of the higher draft picks to a game. Got to be on the field before the game, meet a lot of the guys, which is really cool. And then I did like a week long like mini camp at their spring training complex where you just get acclimated to the team, you meet all the coaches, trainers, development people. You get to do some scrimmages, and then I was thankful to be sent off to Greensboro to play low A ball for my first year, and that was a huge blessing that I was able to be close to home and play some good baseball right out of the gate.
Can you talk about your experience playing for the Greensboro Grasshoppers?
Yeah, I really loved it. It was growing up, I'm from Raleigh, and so I usually went to the Carolina Mudcats games or the Durham Bulls games. I think occasionally we made our way to Greensboro or to the Winston-Salem Dash, but I always knew it was a great place to play. I always knew it was a great baseball town, and so I loved it. I loved that my family was close. A lot of my good friends, coaches got to come see me play, so it was a very smooth transition into pro ball when for a lot of guys it can get lonely because your draft's exciting, but then you're shipped off kind of into reality. You kind of start again at the low man on the totem pole, and I never really felt like that because my family was close. I was playing in a fun league. I was fortunate to stay healthy, And so I really enjoyed playing, and Greensboro is a really good place to play with great fans. And I'll always remember that.
Can you talk about what is it like when you get drafted and they say you're going to go to like the minor league level? Do you get to choose the team that you play for, or do they say, hey, you're going to Greensboro Grasshoppers to play?
Brandon, if I got to choose, I would have gone straight to the major leagues. And I think everyone else would have too. But no, that's not how it works. The minor league system is obviously the developmental system of professional baseball, and so yeah, you don't get to choose at all. They tell you where you start out. And so some guys are hurt and they don't play at all their first year. Some guys go to rookie ball, short season, low A, high A. There's usually one of the four you go to. I was fortunate to go to the full season Greensboro League and played the last half of that ball club. We actually ended up making a playoff run and made the playoffs. But no, if it was up to me, I would have gone straight to the major leagues. But it's probably a good thing that they don't do that, because it's a huge jump in professional baseball. And you definitely have to earn your stripes and make it up to the top, because they want you to stay there and they want you to do well and they want you to have kind of checked off each level.
Can you talk about your experience playing for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp?
Sure. The Jumbo Shrimp, yeah, funny name. It was similar to Greensboro, as in great crowd. But again, you go low A, high A, double A. It's just a step up of baseball. Double A is kind of really where I've seen you can, like, the competition really pick up. There's a lot of older guys. I think the average age in my double A league was 26, 27. I'm 24. So you've got guys that really know what they're doing. Jacksonville specifically is a great baseball town. We share a parking lot with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Every weekend our games are sold out, 11, 12,000 people. It's a really fun place to play. The league is called the Southern League. And so we play all across the Southeast, from Mississippi to Tennessee to Jacksonville. And the travel is really tough. Bus rides are really long. But after your season, it's kind of an accomplishment where you say, man, like, however I played, good or bad, that, it was a good league. You got to travel around and really kind of experience what minor league life is like. And it's kind of a cool accomplishment for me to have been through that league for a full season and a half.
Can you talk about the experience being called up to the major league from the minor league team?
So I haven't gotten called up yet. I've been to Major League spring training twice, which has been really fun, and that's been a really good experience. But I hope one day soon to make it to the major leagues. But I haven't gotten there yet. Hopefully one day soon. That's definitely my goal. But I'm not really sure what that'll be like if that day should come. But I'm sure it'll be a day filled with excitement and anxiety and emotion for sure.
How is it like getting drafted to the organization, the Miami Marlins organization?
Yeah, the Marlins were a team I liked growing up. I kind of liked the Braves, Cardinals, Rangers, and Marlins. For some reason, those were the teams I liked. And so as I think I was 7 or 8 when the Marlins won their second World Series in 2003. And the Carolina Mudcats those years were the Double-A affiliate of the Marlins. So I got to see Miguel Cabrera. I've got a bat from Miguel Cabrera when he was with the Mudcats. Unfortunately, he didn't sign it. But I saw Dontrelle Willis. I saw a lot of those guys come through the Mudcats. So going to see them play for the Marlins was really cool. Juan Pierre was a guy I really enjoyed watching growing up. And so I've gotten to know him pretty well, actually, with the organization. And that's been really fun to be in South Florida. The weather's great, super hot. But it's an organization I really enjoy playing for. They're trying to make some good strides. We've done that. Our minor league system has really improved. I'm really looking forward to being a part of that going forward.
Are there any players that you have played against that you've looked up to, like, previously, like, working to the league?
Yeah, a player I liked growing up was Martin Prado. He was with the Braves when I was growing up, and then he he was with our major league team when I was in high A in 2018, and he was rehabbing our high A team before he went back to the majors. And so I got to lead off, and Martin Prado hit right behind me, which was really fun. And I remember one time I was stealing a base, and I had the base stolen easily, and he swung and fouled it off. And I didn't get the stolen base, but he came back in the dugout. He looked me in the eye. He was like, "Man, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have swung. Like, you had the base. Like, that's my fault." And so, like, for a guy that knows the game so well, he's been just a veteran, professional major league player, to tell me that, I was like, wow, dude, like, you don't need to apologize to me, man. So that's one player. I met Ichiro when I went after I was drafted to a game in Miami, and that was really cool. He was maybe my favorite player growing up, and that was really fun to watch him. I never got to play with him, but I'd say those two were the two that I really knew and followed growing up.
How is it like knowing, like, for example, if you're behind a player that's in the major league, hitting after them, like, what goes through your head?
When I was hitting in front of Martin Prado that one day,
Yes.
It kind of made me up my game a little bit, you know. And it's funny because he's there on a rehab assignment, and so he's kind of getting back in the swing of things before he goes to the major leagues. So a lot of those guys will come down and struggle because they haven't been in a game in a while. So it kind of makes you think, wow, like, these guys are human too. You know, it kind of makes you think you can make it, you can do it. But having him hit behind me, I'm like, I want to get on base. And if he hits the ball to the outfield or to the wall, I want to score for him. And I want him to, as he goes up, I want him to remember me. You know, I want him to think like, man, I remember that guy, how he played, how he hustled. Maybe it'll pay off one day when they're looking to call someone up, you know.
When the guys rehab, when they come down to your level, do you get mentors? Like, do you get mentorships from them? Like, asking them questions like, for example, how did you make it to the professional major league?
Yeah, most guys are very nice, very helpful. They all went through the minor leagues, so it's really cool in your clubhouse sometimes. Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's fun to play with, especially guys that have been in the major leagues for a while. And they're like, all right, you're with us, and you're a part of this game. You're trying to help us win. And that's really cool, just to see how they go about their business. A lot of it isn't what they say, it's kind of what they do, you know, watching how they respond to failure, watching their body language, watching how they hustle and how they play, watching how they prepare for a game. That's kind of the things that stick with me when I watch guys like that.
What are some advice that you would give high school players looking to get into playing college ball?
The first thing I would say is make sure you really love the game of baseball. You know, especially now you got kids that are playing year round. Make sure you're not just doing it because your mom or your dad wants you to, or you feel pressure from them. Because when you get in college, that kid's going to play, and you're going to be playing a lot of baseball. And so if you really love the game, that's going to come out in the end. You know, they say you prioritize what you love. So if you really don't truly love the game, if you're just doing it so that, you know, you can get a girlfriend, or your mom or dad can be proud of you, or any other reason besides a love for the game, well, eventually your work ethic's going to shift from truly trying to get better at ball, and it's going to shift to trying to please someone else, or put up an image that you want people to see of yourself, and eventually that's going to fade away. And number two, I'd say you never know who's watching. You never know if the scout's watching, if a coach in the stands is watching. You never know. So you better always play 100%. You better always play like your job's on the line. It doesn't matter if you're up 18-0. Doesn't matter if it's your last week of the summer playing and you're tired and it's hot. You never know who's watching, you know. If you want to make it to the next level, you got to bring it every day.
What advice would you give upcoming college players looking to get drafted to the professional level?
the advice I would give, and not that I did this super well, I had a lot of accountants around me, but I would say take your focus off the draft completely. Focus on being with your teammates, enjoying college, playing to win there. The draft's going to be there. You're not going to improve or hurt your draft stock by worrying about it anymore. It's so hard to kind of see the big picture, but that's the advice I'd give, is just really focus on where you're at. Be present. Enjoy being with your friends, going to college, trying to win baseball games. The draft is fine, but after that, it's just baseball. It's all just baseball. It doesn't matter if you're a late pick or a high pick. And hey, one day it's going to end. One day it's going to end. You're going to look back and you're going to wish you didn't put so much pressure on yourself for the draft. So, lastly, have fun. Again, if you're not having fun at any level, go find something else to do because you should be having fun, especially playing baseball. It's a kid's game. You want to enjoy it. Obviously, when you fail, that's not fun. But the whole process itself should be fun. Think of the draft and all that. It's just going to take your joy away.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
I don't have a Twitter. I deleted that a couple years ago. But I have an Instagram. I think it's B_Mills with a Z 05. I'm not huge on social media, but I love to interact with you guys any way I can. I enjoy keeping up with my friends and family and other baseball friends and people like that.
Thank you again, Brian, for your interview. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Brian, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Brandon, thanks for having me, man. I really enjoyed it, and best of luck to you as well with the sports talk. I hope it keeps going well, and I'm glad I was to be on your show today. Thanks.
Thank you.